Okay, how's everybody doing? I hope you all had a nice Christmas and a Happy New Year. But boy, have I been busy. I had a really nice time as well. But I just want to give you an update for the new year, let you know what's going on, and tell you how excited I am about the layout because after all this work I've been doing, as you know, the barge slip has been built. Now I almost have all the trees built for this section. I got the middle warehouse, which is sort of a plain Jane section. That's pretty much finished. And then the long warehouse down below, I didn't do any work on it because I had to make a decision whether I wanted to build trees, like go into tree construction mode, or build that warehouse. And I thought, well, I can get that warehouse because if I want to paint this river here, the river, right? It just will not give way, this Fraser River. She's just, I'm telling you. This is the plan. I've got all my trees almost built. I'm going to dress this whole shoreline because I'm really into this scene. The brewery's finished. This is pretty much finished, so I have enough here. I can pull that warehouse out. It pops out. I'm going to dress this whole shoreline. That way I'll be home free to do the river. I won't have to be reaching in here. Elbows and tools and stuff, glues and paints being spilled, whatever, wrecking this surface because I've already have 6 coats of Varathane on this and sanded smooth. Okay, sealed up, completely sealed nice, which is pretty much prepped and ready to go. I'll just primer it and then paint it. Now, I want to tell you about my tree construction. So I've built about 35 or 40 trees, okay? I'll take you over there in a second. This is the first featured tree that I'm going to put here, and I've covered all of the builds. I've built 3 old growth trees. I'll bring over this one. This is the Sitka spruce. I covered this one in a tutorial, and this western red cedar, and a little bit on the other one way down there. You can see it on section 2. Down there to the left of that chunk of blue foam. And there's some other hemlock trees I'm doing behind that, but that's for that section, so I'm not worried about that. So I've been working quite a bit. I just finished the cedar. I wanted to show that to you. And then this Sitka spruce is almost finished now too. I just did all this root system. They have a really unique, just a fascinating root system, Sitka spruce do. And they're probably, I think, one of the largest trees in the world. That even gives the the California redwoods a run for their money is the Sitka spruce. It's hard to get to up here in BC, but anyway, that's for another story. But so yeah, it was a decision I had to make. I'll just jump off the tripod here. It was a decision I had to make: either get into tree construction or build that warehouse. And I can get at that warehouse. I wanted to get this out of the way because I want to get this shoreline finished. Like I want to get the shoreline scenic so that I can paint the Fraser River, right? Because it makes no sense because I'd be elbowing away and having to cover it up and I'd be probably damaging the surface. So, and then of course there's the barge set which is already done and yet to be painted, but that's all going to get done this spring. So, and I'm really, really excited about this. And then of course this whole scene is compressed. There'll be 2 cedars on this bank. And then these deciduous trees are going to be mixed in as well. So those will be running along the bank with blackberry, hanging over the edge a bit. And then I have some of these conifers, Douglas firs, some spruce. Here's some cottonwoods. I'm going to have a few cottonwoods on the corner over here by the yard office where the approach of the ramp is for the barge slip. And there's another western red cedar right there. That one there, which I covered as well, is going to go somewhere in here in front of this small building. There's not a lot going on there, just a door there and then a hockey net with a basketball hoop. I'll probably have that in there. And then that alleyway with a picture backdrop. But I'm really excited the way this scene is developing. I'm glad I've been patient with it because it doesn't get wrecked, right? And I just love this curve here, don't you? And just the way the river, when it's the muddy greenish brown and the barge slip on here with the windsock. I mean, it's just as I visualized it. The cedar or the two cedars that are on location, like aren't quite as tall as this, but I took liberties there. And the original cedar that's there, there's two, is actually growing down on the beach here. It's probably about this high. So this one's a little bit taller and a little more straight, but I did put a bit of a lean on it just to add some drama. You know, like leaning over the river, like the barge slip. You can see the edge of the barge slip right here, so it's sort of leaning over. It's kind of cool. I really like that. Anyway, so I'm really excited about that because this was a big part of the build, these trees. Like I've been going hard for 3 weeks on them, and I'm almost there. And I'm quite pleased with the way they've turned out. So, and I'll have a couple more tutorials. The next tutorial coming up is the deciduous. It'll be a short one because what I want to cover here is in conjunction with these trees. Like I already covered the making of these trees, the technique that I use. And then these ones, I just touch on some of the different style of branches and just the different style trunks and just a sort of a refresh. But if you watch these two videos, this will come next, making the old growth, then you'll be able to know how I made all the trees. So you can go at it yourself and develop that skill and grow with that and watch yourself grow too, like get better and better at it. Okay? If you just apply some of these techniques, you're bound to make better trees anyway, right? So, and that's not to say that the trees that you already make are not appropriate, because I have trees, you know, like background trees that I call soft trees up above the layout from, you know, like Glover Road. So they're going to be used as well. But a lot of those other trees there, those evergreens, are going to go right in here. There's a big grove that's going to be in here, and then a hill and a road that goes up. I've already got a plan for this module, which I'll talk about this spring. And then once that shoreline's done and the river's painted and the barge slip is in place and painted, I'm going to finish that warehouse and then the steel company, and then there's just a big parking lot here. So I'm really, really excited. I'm really looking forward to this new year and how this whole scene is really going to flesh out to the way I envision it. So I just want to say thanks for supporting the channel. Thank you to all the new subscribers that have come to the channel. I really appreciate your support. Thanks for being patient. You know, it's a lot of work, right? Like I want to produce content that's, you know, half decent, right? Like, you know, and that covers, you know, the requests that people ask for. So even though it's, you know, it's not always easy to cover everything, but I pretty much have everything in the can, like all the trees and, well, everything pretty much. So if anybody wonders about certain subjects as I'm moving forward, like it'll all be there in the playlists as well, okay? And also just to put a word out for the community tab. Check the community tab on the main page too for updates, because I'll be doing a lot of updates this year and uploading pictures that you won't see in the video content, okay? So if you don't check the community tab, you won't see some of the stuff that I'm doing that I'll just attribute, like thumbnail pictures, some of my best photography while I'm working on particular subjects and covering different situations, okay? So thanks once again. Happy New Year. See you soon. Feel free to subscribe, and cheers to everyone.